Now, even a fetus that could survive on its own outside its mother's womb could be aborted under certain medical circumstances. This demonstrates that we do not consider an unborn child to be a true human being. Now, as of late, the public, which is what that was all about, the repealing of Roe v. Wade, was the public financing through our government of abortion has stopped. It's still a conversation between women and their doctors, or families and their doctors, but it no longer is funded by our tax dollars. And that's what was repealed. The funding of it, the underpinning of it by tax dollars, which, why do we all need to pay for that? It's not a necessary thing we all need to pay for. But nonetheless, it's been repealed. But science tells us that human life begins at the time of conception. From the moment fertilization takes place, the child's genetic makeup is already complete. Its gender has already been determined, along with its height and hair, eye, and skin color have already been predetermined at the moment of conception. The only thing the embryo needs to become a fully functioning being is time, growth, and to develop. That's what that embryo needs. Jeremiah 1 and 5 tells us this. Can somebody read that? Jeremiah 1 and 5. So we see here God speaking to the prophet Jeremiah. When did he say he knew him? Before he was formed in the womb. Before he was fully developed. So at the time of conception, God is saying, I knew you. And we know that all your genetic makeup is already there present at the time of conception. Everything's already there. But it tells us that God knows us before we're fully formed in the womb. God already knows. Therefore, God is speaking of life. There's no debate about it biblically. Psalms 139, 13 through 16. Can somebody read that, please? So the author, the writer of the psalm, is saying how God knew him and formed him in the womb. So at conception is life, according to the Bible and the God of the Bible, who is also the God of creation, the God that gives life. There is no debate about it biblically. So there is truthfully only one stance a Christian can take. And that is to choose life. For some, that could be a hard decision to make, but biblically, God clarifies it. But we'll go on more, because we don't endeavor to hurt anyone, but to show you the truth. And we know that society has lied to many women for many years. And there are a lot of hurt women and hurt families and hurt men out there. We want to give you the truth of the Word of God. Can somebody also read that God's active role in creation and formation is found in the womb? But can somebody read Exodus 21? attack a pregnant woman, she and her baby are injured. In many places considered, and if they both should die or one or the other should die, it would be considered a double murder or a single murder of just the baby. We find this even in our laws, and the root of that comes from the book of Exodus. You find that in America. That's why our laws are situated that way. But God is even in the Old Testament saying that life begins in the womb, because to harm it is the same penalty for harming an adult, a teenager, a child running around. There is no different in God's judgment for harming them. God saying he knows us in the womb, he formed us in the womb, and if someone should harm a child in the womb, then they are to be judged by the strictness of the law. It's the same penalty for the cause of death of a baby in the womb as for someone who commits murder. There is no difference in judgment. This law and its punishment clearly indicate that God considers a baby in the womb to be just as much a human being as a full-grown adult. For the Christian, abortion is not a matter of a woman's right to choose to have a baby. The baby is already present and living. Abortion is a matter of life or death of a human being made in God's image. Let's read that, Genesis 1, 26 through 27. I hope to walk you through the scriptures so that you can understand and rest that so-called hot topic of today in your mind and in your heart, so you will know the truth and know how to reach out to those who are on the fence, so to speak, about their life decision. So you can reach out to them, talk to them about the truth of the word, and reach out in the love of God as they weigh that very heavy decision that sadly has been made so easy today. But can somebody read that, Genesis 1, verses 26 through 27? So God is clarifying that man is not only different than all the other creatures of his creation, but we're made in his image and in his likeness. So that baby in the womb, that fetus, that embryo is made in the image and likeness of God, and all their genetic material is there. The eye colors predetermined, the height, the weight. And guess what, for the modern day liars, and they are liars, your sex is determined at birth. There's no choice. There's no debate about it, whether you're born a boy or a girl. I was talking to a man, and we'll continue our talk. At some point, he was saying that he only thought there were two genders until he saw in a class, a college course, all the different hermaphrodites and different genetic mutations is really what they are within humanity. Far less than 1% of humans, but make no mistake, those are mutations, not something else being developed. They didn't evolve into some new gender. It's a mutation. It's a sad mutation, but a mutation nonetheless. There are some people that are born with 6 fingers and 6 toes. That's a mutation. Not as harmful to some degree as gender mutations, but it's still a mutation. It's not a new gender. The Bible tells us there's only 2, and common sense tells you the same thing. Well, I feel like I was born in the wrong body. I'm a man trapped in a woman's body, or I'm a woman trapped in a man's body. Well, then the Bible gives you the answer for this. You must be born again. And when you're born again, God makes you anew. Guess what? Old things are passed away. Behold, all things, listen to that, all things become new. God makes you new. You have a child or someone in your family struggling with identity disorder. or gender dysphoria, if it's more severe, show them the scriptures. Show them the truth of the word and let them know that God has the answer for their condition. He can help them. He didn't leave them uncared for. God understands. But he is clear on who we are and what we are. There is no debate. Also, can somebody read Genesis 9 and 6? Genesis 9 and, oh, something happened. We're waiting on the scriptures. It went black. You got it? All right, good deal. Maestro fixed it. He getting good over there, huh? He's making it happen. Look at it. Don't let it go to your head and mess up now. He's doing good, though. Genesis 9 and 6. He troubleshot a problem of the day. I was like, look at him, trying to be a little leader. That's what I like to see. But Genesis 9 and 6, can somebody read that, please?
Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God he made him.
God is clarifying how important we are. He showed us, as we read earlier, that how to harm a baby in the womb is the same judgment. He later clarifies in Genesis 9 and 6 what the punishment should be if you harm a man or a woman, if you kill them. That's why we have a death penalty in America. It's because it's coming from a biblical source. God, the righteous judge, and make no mistake, there is no human more righteous than God. They may pretend to be, but follow them home. I don't believe in the death penalty. Oh, I can't believe they cut me off. Somebody should shoot them in the face. For traffic? You want to kill people for traffic? Oh, I can't believe they ran over that cat. Somebody should take them and run them over. You don't believe in death penalty, but you want to kill people because somebody ran over Fido? Ooh. Now, where would all the Asian restaurants get their Szechuan chicken if we ain't have cats, getting around? I'm just teasing. We thought we liked the mood for a moment, just teasing. I know not all Asians eat cat, but some do. And if you've been to a buffet and they tell you it's 1,000 flavors, you did too. You ate that's cat. Ain't that beef, pork, chicken, fish? 1,000 flavors? You done had some meow. You done had some of that cat meat. I ain't gonna lie, but they might have got me too. I remember they had a restaurant by the mall, got shut down. They had dog meat in the freezer. They caught them. Nashville Joe's Crab Shack. So if you go to Rivergate Mall, hopefully they sprayed down the freezer there in Nashville, Tennessee. They sure caught them. That's why they closed. It was a beautiful restaurant too. Had fountains out front. Had a little bridge. Like, ooh, it was just, ooh, look at the koi fish. Yep, Rex in the freezer too. I thought these ribs was kind of different. They was. But guess what? They eat dog in Korea. It's called Kegogi. A lot of different places eat dog. Listen, if you get hungry enough, guess what? You gonna eat it too. Preacher, I would never. You've always been faithful. Come here. You gonna call him over, slit their throat. Ooh, man, he helped save my life. You're going to tell the story how faithful your puppy was to the end. He made sure you made it. But it's a delicacy in some places. Some people think the fact that we barbecue ribs on the 4th of July, I can't believe they're cooking beef. Oh, that could be their uncle. Not mine. Man, give me them ribs. Them beef ribs, man, let me get that. Slop on the bone. So it's just different cultures. There's nothing really wrong with it. Preach, it's wrong. No. Jesus in the New Testament says slay and eat. So you can eat it. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't turn anything down. Besides, they put in the stew, you won't know. They're going to tell you it's gumbo. You be eating it. And then, but you know they're going to do later. How you like that? What do you mean? This is good. Wow, it's spicy. Yeah, it's spicy, huh? You like that? Guess what it is? I don't know. It's so good. It's really tender. Oh, man, I love is that coconut in there too? Yeah. And they throw that dog paw on your leg. Like, you're going to freak out. They get you right there. You're going to freak out. You'll be all right, American. You'll be all right. It'll be okay. Now, I'm not saying people should go out and eat your little Fido and your Rex. Calm down. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you're going to survive, and depending on where you were born, you're going to eat it. People think it's insane to eat cows in India. But in America, woo! Boy, go to the store and they got beef on sale for $1 a pound. Man, we all finna dive in. We gonna get the ground beef, the chuck steak. We finna, ooh, steak $1 too. Give me them T-bones. How much is ribs, man? We all gonna be in there. Tearing it up, $1 a pound. With the price of eggs these days, man, we gonna make it happen. Not all of us. Our sister, she gonna like, no thank you. Just, y'all got any pineapples on sale? Pineapple. Some papaya, some cauliflower, some broccoli. My brother like that too, he's vegan. One of our sisters is vegan. Ain't nothing wrong with that. She's nice vegan. She don't come in trying to make us feel bad. I can't believe you eat that death meat. No, she just eat what she want to eat and keep on living. Besides all that, she used to eat it anyway. So, you know, she's just doing it for health. And because she wants to, she don't need a reason. No, I ain't going to even say that. I mean, I do know. But I ain't going to say she don't need it because she want to. You mean people cannot eat what they don't want to eat? Yeah, America, how sweet she is. It's because she don't need a reason. Just like you don't need a reason. Eat what you want to eat. As long as it ain't people, you good with me. You eat people, you got to go. I'm like Columbus. You don't need to be here no more. Get them up out of here. Get them up out of here. They eating their way through the island. You can't eat your way through Arizona. People, no, you got to go. All these javelinas running around here, oh, you got to go. Where he at? I don't know. That ain't my business. I'm the preacher. I'll do the funeral if you find his body, or we can do for the unknown cannibal. We'll have a service. We sure will. That ain't my business. That's law enforcement. I got to do with that. Is he still around? You people know? Okay, all right. Preacher, where you going? To mind my business. Where I'm going? I ain't got to do with that. I ain't got to do with that. Preacher. I'm just being honest with you. So gonna be lie to you? Can't lie to you. But depending on where you grow up depends on what you eat. Except for people. But depending on where you grow up depends on what you eat. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going, I can't believe you eat that. Well, they probably think you eating something nasty. All that sauce you put on there, that ketchup. Eating all that sugar. That's really all it is. Why you like the ketchup is all the sugar and all that fructose. You're addicted. You're a sugar addict. When you wonder why you got diabetes at 30. All that, I love ketchup on my fries. Oh. Diabetes. Your diabetic gonna kick in. You cut a toe off. But I'm not making fun of diabetes. I know some people dealing with some harsh cases. So we pray for them. But it's the same penalty for killing a child in the womb as it is for killing an adult. Even Galatians 1:13 through 16 gives us more insight into this. Can somebody read that, please? Galatians 1:13 through 16.
For ye have heard of my conversation in time past in the Jews living, how that beyond measure I persecuted the church of God and wasted, and profiled in the Jews living above, me my equals in my own nation, being more exceedingly envious of the traditions of my fathers. But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb.
Hold on, can we go back for a minute to 14? Can you read that again? You put some extra letters in there. Where you from, Kentucky? Go ahead, read that for me. No, I'm just teasing. Go ahead. If you ain't here, she said Zelius. Zelius? I don't know how she said it, but it was funny. I heard them laugh, and I said, we'll stop for a moment. Even Sister B was like, ha, 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 she did say it right. I'm not even from here. She's from Pinky. No, Pompey. Sister B is from Pompey, the FSM, Federated States of Micronesia. So you making fun of your wife? No, I'm just using it as an illustration. She's prayed, God used me. He's doing it right now. But sometimes in America, we have accents. So if you're from a different country, you don't have to be ashamed to have an accent. That brings us to my next point. Can you pull up the slide? We have the International Women's Day this Sunday. You're going through with that. International Women's Day this Sunday. We're having a special service at 1 p.m., our normal church time on Sundays. Come and be a part. Nobody's going to make you be ashamed or make you feel unwanted. We're going to make you feel loved because you are. Accent and all. But we have accents too. Don't worry about it. You just heard her say zealous ectomy. No, it wasn't that bad. I'm adding to it. It wasn't that bad. But there are words that Truth be told, I had to practice saying the word, I was talking about it today, or yesterday, the word heal. Because I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, it all sounds the same to me. Yeah, I got to cut on my heel. Man, go on up and run up the hill right there. It was like, the heel? You talking about your foot? No, run up the hill like Jack and Jill, run up the hill. Do you mean hill? I was like, so I said heel, just go up the hill. It's not the same word, young man. I was like, what do you mean? It's the same, the heel. No, that's your thing in the back of your foot, your Achilles heel. I was like, wait, what? Hold on, I started listening. They were saying heel, which is what I was saying. They were saying heel. You don't want to know how many weeks I sat in my room working on heel. It was a long time, but still I may call, hey, go down the hill right there. But I worked on it, though. So we have accents. So don't worry about it. International Women's Day, we know it's the 8th or 9th. Is the 8th? The 8th. But we'll be celebrating, because we're not in church on the 8th, we'll be celebrating this Sunday. So if you have a friend that's a woman and she's international, what does that mean? She's from a nation, don't matter. Because you're from Canada and we in America, international. If you're in Canada and we from America, international, same. If you know a woman, invite her. Let her come. We're going to have a special day and a special time to honor all the women. All the women in our community here in Sierra Vista, Fort Huachuca City, Hereford, Palominas, all of Cochise County. We're going to have a special service for them. So that was our intro into that. But Galatians, please finish verse 15. We're going somewhere. Galatians 1 and 15.
So when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, to reveal his son to me, that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood.
So this is Paul giving his testimony, how that God chose him, separated him from his mother's womb. He was already called to be an apostle to the Gentiles, to the heathens. Anybody that wasn't a Jew, which is us. He was already called to be an apostle in his mother's womb. And who knows, because of abortion, and we'll get more into abortion facts, how many leaders and what developments could have been created and how many problems could have been solved in the world that God had already established had it not been for abortion. But I don't want to leave you on that note, because I know there's many things we're going to get to in this Bible study, but I want to make sure I end it each time with forgiveness. Because many women have been told that abortion's okay, it's all right, it's between you and yourself, don't involve the father, don't involve your family, or they've hidden who the father was in many cases because it was a statutory rape situation. The man was an adult and the girl was young. They've hidden all these things, or maybe they told you, girl, you'll be okay, don't worry about it, but now you're living with the guilt of that decision. You're living with the brokenheartedness, thinking as another year passes how old your child would have been. Well, God understands. He understands your hurt. And for your hurt, he offers you forgiveness. Let's read it. Matthew 12 and 31. Can somebody read that, please? Matthew 12 and 31. Not abortion, not murder. All manner of sin will be forgiven. God will forgive you. He'll love you and care for you. God understands the pain you hide. Can somebody read that? Romans 8 and 1. So there is now no condemnation. Maybe you're feeling condemned because of the decision you made, or you were forced to make by family, or you chose to make because you were lied to, or maybe you just did it out of stress. and fear. God understands. He says there's no condemnation when you come to him. God will take away that condemnation that you feel, that pain that weighs over your head and over so many decisions you make in life. God's letting you know if you come to him, he'll remove that condemnation because he loves you. Before we get into the numbers, there were tens of millions of babies killed. So there are millions of mothers that live with this guilt, this condemnation. Jesus is the answer for you. God can and will forgive you. Can somebody read Luke 5:20 through 25? We'll end with this. Luke 5:20 through 25. And maybe you had that question, who can forgive sins? Who can forgive me for that decision? God can. God can. Please continue, sister. Thank you. So who can forgive sins? That's the question they asked Jesus. He showed them that he had the power to forgive sins by healing a man, which is easier. He proved it to him. And maybe you weighted down with the condemnation of that choice. God is the answer. He offers you forgiveness, love, acceptance. He doesn't want to condemn you for that. He loves you too much for it. He knows and realizes in many cases you were deceived. They made it easier to do it and tried to justify it as being just. But it was murder. And your decision and the way your mind and heart felt afterward bared witness to the fact that they were lying. And to the many women that may be here in Cochise County that have suffered through this, God's the answer. He's reaching out to you, and women, no matter where you are, men, families who've endured this hardship and injustice. God's reaching out to you in love and forgiveness. He wants you to know the truth in this world full of lies. We'll end this Bible study here tonight. We'll pick it up next week. Next Tuesday will be our Bible study. Finding the truth in a world full of lies about life. Sister Rhonda, we just missed us in prayer tonight, please, ma'am.